It has gone final here at the Betty. North Dakota in overtime, able to get one over on their previously unbeaten rivals, North Dakota State, 82-78. Your final. UND improving to 3-3 in Summit League play. The Bison dropped their first conference game of the season, now at 5-1. Alex Heinert, Zach Dosch here with you, wrapping things up. Zach, just a game that was close throughout. Neither team led by double figures. Again, a far cry from what we saw yesterday. Just a reminder of A, how unpredictable this league can be at times, and B, how much this rivalry means certainly to both of these teams, but to a North Dakota team that showed a lot of pride tonight after their performance yesterday.
Yeah, I think it really illustrated why you play hard for the full 40, in some cases 45 minutes, because good things happen. You find your way back into games. There was a couple times in that first half where I was wondering if UND was going to crack. I was wondering if they thought that, hey, we're playing NDSU tough, that's good enough for us, and it clearly wasn't. They battled all the way to the end. They kept playing, scrapping, fighting, and here they are coming out with a win. Yeah,
let's look at some of the highlights from the second half and overtime. North Dakota State trailed by 3 going into the break. Tyree Eady, though, and Rocky Cruz are big performances in the second half for these two to pull them in front at different times in that second half.
Yeah, Tyree Eady with a couple nice buckets there and knocked down a 3. He was a big player for them in the second half. Couple turnovers, though, too. But really, it was all about Rocky Cruiser from start to finish. What a performance by Rocky Cruiser.
Eady, by the way, 10 points, 13 rebounds, and then Cruiser, as we've said, a career night for him, 32 and 10 for the big man. Hit a big 3 in OT to keep things tight late. Mitchell Suker, on the other hand, a career night as well, 22 points and nearly perfect at the free throw line down the stretch.
And he showed up big tonight. He's been a guy that's been in and out of the starting lineup. His minutes have been up and then the down, but now he's really establishing himself, and he took this advantage of this opportunity, made the most of it, and of course going right into Philip Bracha. Did a great job operating on the block, down the post. In the second half, in overtime, they played through him.
Another 20-point game for Bracha, 21-7 he finishes with. The exact same scoreline he had against North Dakota State in their first meeting back in December. As you look at the final numbers, the Bison a plus 16 on the glass. 14-3, the Bison win the offensive rebound battle. But UND, great job in the paints. Pretty efficient, nearly 50% from the floor. They did enough to find a way in the ends to get the job done, and much better. I mean, it helps when you get some free throws. 17-22 from the line tonight for UND.
Yeah, NDSU did a great job going to the glass, 14 offensive rebounds. But it seemed like NDSU did a pretty good job after NDSU got the offensive rebound and battling out the rest of the possession. There's really only a couple times where NDSU would get an offensive rebound and they kick it out, knock down a 3, things like that. So UND just did a good job of battling. It wasn't necessarily always pretty, but they just found a way.
Here's what it means in terms of the updated Summit League standings. North Dakota State now tied in 3rd place with Oral Roberts. You know those South Dakota schools, ORU, and then hopefully North Dakota, if you're a UND fan. You think maybe those 5 could perhaps separate themselves. UND's win tonight keeps them in the conversation among that lead pack.
UND's kind of proven to be in a little bit of an enigma here, because part of me wants to look at this and be like, okay, they're staying out of that 6, 7, 8, 9 scrum. But on the other hand, when you see them play what they're playing tonight, when they're beating NDSU, when they're beating Oral Roberts, you wonder, hey, why couldn't they maybe be up in the top 1 or 2 or 3? We'll see. But plenty of season left here, and for UND, I think they're going to be about as tough to predict as anybody.
It's an unpredictable league. We will see what happens next week, of course. North Dakota State, again, back at home. The Bison get a chance to take on Denver next week, and then North Dakota on the road against South Dakota State. Again, Midco will have the Friday night games from Frost Arena for UND for the men and the women. They'll have the Saturday night games from the Shack between the Bison and the Pioneers. Really fun night tonight. I know from a neutral perspective, a lot more fun when you've got a close game. This place was electric even with only 650 fans. Another reminder of why this rivalry can be so special.
And it was just a well-played game. I mean, this is exactly what you want when you think about a big-time college basketball game. And I think both sides are coming away with this fairly satisfied. I mean, fairly entertained, a lot to be learned, and, a split at home for UND.
Yeah, another split. 3 weeks, 3 splits in the conference for North Dakota. Back on the road next week for the Fighting Hawks. Fun one tonight. That wraps up a busy weekend of basketball here at the Betty. North Dakota able to find a way in the end to stop the sweep from happening. 82-78 your final in overtime. North Dakota your winner tonight. On behalf of our entire Midco SN crew, our producer Jeremy Klein, our director Mike Thurman, Zach Dosch, Val Sussex, the whole gang. I'm Alex Heinert. Thanks for being with us all weekend long. Good night from Grand Forks.